Hi, my name is Tatiana and my channel is Created by Lady T. And in this channel I talk about quilting, crochet, sewing. I give quilt alongs, crochet alongs, sew alongs, and I also give product reviews. And I'm in the middle of a series called 12 Blocks Till Christmas. And I got a few comments on my blocks about my seams and how I do my seams. And because I do those blocks very quickly, and the video isn't really about the seams, it's about the block variations that I do. I wanted to make this separate video just on how I do my seams and how I line them up. There was a question on one of the blocks if I nested my seams. Yeah, I don't know that word, but I do that. And I'm going to show you exactly what it is that I do right here. So the whole idea of putting these blocks together is to make sure that your blocks are flat and your seams are flat, because if your seams aren't flat, then what happens is that you get all this bulk and it's really hard to quilt it with all that bulk. So I don't know about the different ways in which people do their seams, and I think seams are kind of personal in a way for me. They're it's a touchy subject sometimes, but the way I do it is, so I will have, that's my 1/4 inch that I've sewn right here. And what I do is I kind of sandwich the blocks like this, so that it's facing this seam will face this way, and then this seam faces that way. So I don't open my seams in half. I just sew the seams one way and then sew the seam the other way. So when I'm putting these together, I'm making sure that they're lined up so that one goes one way and the other goes the other way. And that's the way I do my blocks. So then I take a pin, and I like to use these pins, and I make sure that they're butted up against each other. I guess that's the term. I don't really know the terminology very well, but I make sure that they're butt up and butt against each other. I don't like to talk like that, but anyways, so I put a pin and like so, and wait. So I've put a pin here, and these two pieces I'm going to be sewing a 1/4 inch down this way, so that I have four small blocks. So here, this is where these seams are scooted up against each other or butted up against each other. And so when I go to sew this way, well, what I can do is use a measuring tool and draw a line for the 1/4 inch, which I'll do in a second. And that way I can go straight down. And so if you're new at this, or if you don't know how to do it very well, drawing the 1/4 inch. I know there's different ways to do this, but with a water-soluble pen, to draw the 1/4 inch would be a really great way to know where the 1/4 inch is, even if you have a 1/4 inch foot, even if you have the best machine in the world. Just drawing that could help with the visual. So I'll draw that in a second. But this is how I keep it in place, and when I sew it down, I'll move this pen. But the whole idea is to make sure that these sides are even, and that you want to keep these as together as possible so that you've got a nice square. Okay, so I've drawn the line of the 1/4 inch square, I'm sorry, the 1/4 inch seam, and I'm just going to sew on that. And if you are not experienced, I personally love, when I do my blocks, I iron it one way and then I iron it the other way. I iron it one way. I don't split the seams. I guess that's what that's called. I've never done that, and I don't like doing that. To me, this is the easiest way to do it, and I'm going to stick to this for the rest of my life, and I don't care if it's not conventional, but that's the way I'm going to do it. And I want to make sure that I get a nice flat seam. So that, to me, better than to be fancy, better than to be experienced, is to do a job right. And so I would rather do it right than to do it wrong. Now, if you don't know where the 1/4 inch is, drawing a line with a water-soluble pen, I didn't do this with a water-soluble pen because I'm just doing this for a demonstration, but drawing the lines with a water-soluble pen, I think, is the best thing. It's better than using tape at the sewing machine. This is my opinion. It works better than even the 1/4 inch foot. You just have that line right there in front of you, and to me, that's really the best way I know how to do it. And maybe it seems a little childish, but and not experienced like, but I'd rather do it to the point where I'm comfortable than to be fancy. So I'm going to sew this right now, and I'll show you how I sew it. Okay, so here I'm at my sewing machine, and I've got my needle on my line at the beginning, and I will just sew it down like this. And now when I get close to where the pin is, I'll pull the pin out, but I'll make sure to hold it really tight because it will move. Even if the pin is there or not, it's gonna move. That's just the nature of the beast of these, the way it works. But when I sew, I make sure that the iron edge is down. That's how I do it, that it's down. And I just sew, and I don't really go too fast when I'm at this area. And I've sewn this like that, and I will open the piece, and here, this side, I will just iron it down like this and just go one way. Okay, so here I've got these edges that I've butted up against each other, and here I'm going to be ironing this down. And so I will take my iron and with one hand and just iron that down. And I just hold the iron on top like this. And then whatever loose threads I have, I will just cut them and turn that around. And so I've got a nice square here, a nice block. That's how I do my seams, and here's my block in my hand, and it's nice and crisp. I don't spray anything on my blocks. I don't put any starch. I just iron them and take very good care of them, and it's nice and flat, and it'll be I'll be able to use this on a quilt. And that's how I do all of my blocks in my seams. And I just wanted to share this with you all so you have an idea of what my blocks are like at the seams when I'm doing my 12 blocks till Christmas. So I will have this video on all of the videos that I post that's 12 blocks for Christmas, or any blocks that I do. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment box. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I would love to know how you do your seams. It seems to be a very personal preference, I think, I believe, but I don't know. But let me hear what you have to say. Subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Created by Lady T.